Welcome, welcome. Let's make sure all the streams catch up. Come on, Periscope. Come on, Twitch. Come on, YouTube. We've got to have them all. We've got to have them all, don't we? Don't we? Because this is going to be a fun, exciting show. Yes, it is. Y'all here? Everyone here? Very good. Very good. Let's tweet. Make sure it all happens. Sorry I'm a little late today. You know, there was some interesting news that broke this morning. Something you may have heard about, may have read about. Just gonna pour myself a little beverage here in this mug. Happens to be sitting on my desk. It's a fun logo on it. Oh, you know, I was just looking at this new order of stickers that came in. Logo for Fireside, little company that I've been running since 2016 in the podcast space. That's a tasty beverage here in this mug. Okay, so let's get started. Well, it turns out there's a scoop over on The Verge where they're talking about Mark Cuban. Apparently, he's co-founding some kind of a podcast app or service or something, and it's called Fireside, which is weird. They're calling it a next-gen podcast platform. A little weird to me, because I think there's already a podcast platform called Fireside. It's weird. They quote me in this article. Here's my statement. I gotta find it. Let me read this. Okay, here it says, this app is unrelated to the established podcast hosting and analytics platform Fireside, which has been around since 2016. Dan Benjamin, Fireside's founder and CEO, says there's no connection between the two services. Quote, creating a memorable brand is a challenge, and we've already heard from customers and potential customers who are confused about this. He writes to The Verge, quote, it's surprising and more than a bit concerning. I imagine they just didn't realize that we here at Fireside have been in podcast hosting for almost 5 years, or about my own personal involvement in podcasting since 2006. Of course, I invite them to reach out to me so we can begin a dialogue, figure out a solution. I do. And this is a surprise, and it was kind of weird, and I don't know what to say about it. So I used an anonymous browser, and I, you switch it to privacy mode, so I wouldn't have any of my like cookies or anything. And I did some searches on some major search engines, and it seems like a search for Fireside, even without podcasting, we usually turn up. So I am legitimately confused. I don't understand it, but we'll see. I'm very welcome to talk to them and see what it is they would like to do about this. Oh, did you like my pin? I decided to wear one of the Fireside pins for the show today. It looks good. All right, let's get on to the next article. And if you have any questions, you can. Yeah, they're saying I should.
That's your name, dude.
I should use that. Welcome to ask me questions in the chat on Periscope or YouTube or Twitch. I'll see them all right here, and happy to answer any questions that you have. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Trump for a second, because yeah, that story is not done. The second impeachment trial is going to be starting tomorrow on Tuesday. And, we don't know exactly what's going to happen. CNN's reporting that the Senate leaders are close in on a deal on impeachment trial rules. I didn't know that rules varied, but apparently they do. So tomorrow there's going to be up to a 4-hour debate on an issue of constitutionality of the trial in the first place. Is it even constitutional? And then they're going to vote a simple majority threshold, which is the same vote that Senator Rand Paul forced a few weeks ago. So if this thing is interesting to you, you can tune in to do it. Now, of course, they asked Biden about this, and his quote was that it is the Senate should work it out. That was his quote. They need to work it out. He says the Senate has to work it out. Okay. So that's it. Now on to Ben is asking if I've retained an attorney yet. Does the story end? I like this. Thank you, Adam. Does this story end with Dan owning the Mavericks? If I was going to own any team, it's not. I'll show you who it's going to be. Hold on. Come on, guys. You know me. if there's any team that I'm ever going to own, it's going to be this, the Eagles, Super Bowl champions. Need to put, you know what I need? I need some kind of shelf so y'all can see that. And it's not just sitting on the desk. I'll put it here today. Okay. Hang on. Let me take another sip of this beverage out of my fireside mug. Ah, that's refreshing. Even more refreshing out of a fireside mug, I must say. Okay, here's some bad news, some pandemic news for you.
Excuse me, I'm in need of medical
All right.
attention.
It will take 7 years to end the coronavirus pandemic by getting shots in the arms of 75% of the world's population. The U.S. could reach herd immunity, though, by the New Year's on 2022. Have you heard about this? They're using something called a vaccine calculator. And they're saying at the current pace of vaccination, it will take 7 years for the whole world to reach herd immunity. 119 million doses of vaccines have been given out. The U.S. has given one or more doses to just 8.7% of its population. This is reported by your and my favorite website, the Daily Mail. Now, I don't usually talk about the weather in general, and I definitely don't talk about global or national weather because it's boring and you can just walk outside and find out about it. But this is a big one right here. This is weird. Right now, temperatures are going to be 20 to 30 degrees lower than usual in some parts of the United States. Now, if you're not in the United States, as I know, we've got some Netherlands folks here and other people like that. They don't care about it here, but it's going to be very, very cold. Chicago, Milwaukee, Des Moines, Iowa, they're waking up to temperatures at 0 degrees. And Minneapolis is 10 below zero. That is so crazy. Residents across the northern plains and upper Midwest will start off the work week with continued below average temperatures and brutal wind chills. Wind chill values below zero and as low as 50 degrees could be experienced. minus 50 degrees. So that's absolutely crazy. It just seems like the whole world is out to get everyone right now. Okay, one thing I wanted to talk about. Speaking of football, and yes, we have our little. That's all I can play. That's all I'm allowed to play. I'll get sued. So there was a Super Bowl. Now, some people have been asking me. I get a lot of questions about NFL sent in to me as if I'm some kind of an expert. But they say, Dan, can you please explain why the Super Bowl always uses Roman numerals? Why they don't just write out 45? Why it'll be like an L and a V? Why it's in Roman numerals? And so I actually found I looked this up for y'all, and here is an article about it. They basically look at this disgusting. Why do they have to put these horrible ads? Those of you who are just listening to the podcast version,
the theater of the mind.
You don't want to know. But basically, it's not just the NFL that does this. NBA does it. NHL does it. They all use these Roman numerals. And it says, quote, the Roman numerals were adopted to clarify any confusion that may occur because the NFL championship game, the Super Bowl, is played in the year following a chronologically recorded season. The only time the NFL steered away from Roman numerals was in 2016 when the title was referred to as Super Bowl 50 instead of L. So anyway, that's why they do that. So you get your Roman numerals there. Not really an answer, but apparently there was some weird. I did not watch. Listen, you know that I have problems now with football because of my guilt. Because
Life
I know that
doesn't
these
have to be
guys
complicated if you have type 2 diabetes.
stop playing these ads. Because I have guilt because I know that these guys are getting hurt and they're getting the traumatic brain injury and stuff like that. So like I can't watch and not feel a little like guilty that I'm like enjoying that these guys are playing, but then they're getting hurt. So anyway, I've watched a lot less of football than I used to. And so I didn't really pay much attention to this season at all. It felt weird with the fake crowds and everything, but I did watch the Super Bowl. I did, pay attention to it. I watched some of the ads. It's a boring game. This is not the kind of game that you want. The best game was, I don't know, randomly just pulling one out off the top of my head was maybe 3 years ago when the Eagles played. That was a great game because it was the Eagles and it was a really close game. And that's what you want out of a Super Bowl. And the stupid thing is you would think that the Super Bowl is what's going to draw people in to watch the game of football, but it's usually the worst game of the year. And everyone who really follows football knows the Super Bowl is not great, but this one was weird. And also apparently there was I didn't watch any of the halftime show at all, but apparently it was underwhelming. They're calling it underwhelming, saying that that The Weeknd, who did his performance there, it had some weird stuff. It was a lackluster performance, and everyone had bandages, head bandages, and like prosthetic stuff on. And he says the significance of the entire head bandages is reflecting on the absurd culture of Hollywood celebrity and people manipulating themselves for superficial reasons to please and to be validated. It's all a progression, and we watch the character's storyline hit heightened levels of danger and absurdity as his tale goes on. And there are some pictures here, which I can show you. So these people are all bandaged up. And this is the look that they were going for. So, yeah, there you go. Okay, remember, it's time for our segment on Apple. So let's find Apple. Thank you, Lemon Grab. Hold on, I got to take a sip out of my Fireside mug. Been making those mugs since I started the company Fireside in 2016, after spending a year building the software. Hyundai and Kia now say they aren't in discussions to develop an Apple car. What? We've been talking about this for weeks now. Of course they're doing, but no, they're not. They're not, or at least not anymore. Remember last week I told you that Apple was maybe talking to some Japanese manufacturers, and maybe things weren't working out with Hyundai because Hyundai itself is a big company and a really huge deal over there, and that they don't want to be kind of capitulating to Apple in any way or manipulated by Apple in any way. And so I guess it would kind of make sense that they might not be the perfect match for Apple in the long run. But you never know. You never know what's gonna happen. Okay, so they're not in discussions, or at least not anymore. Hyundai last month confirmed that Apple was in discussions with a variety of global automakers, including Hyundai. However, the automaker walked back the statement just hours later and merely said that it had, quote, received requests for potential cooperation from various companies regarding development of autonomous EVs. So it sounds like they're out, but maybe a Japanese company in. We'll have to see. Still talking about Apple, if you are a nerd developer like I am, you may be familiar with Homebrew. Homebrew is a software that lets you compile stuff on the Mac really easily if you're a software developer and all that. Well, if you know the new Macs that came out, they weren't quite working with Homebrew. You could get it to work with the Rosetta thing, but it wasn't always working. So it turns out that now, as of today, Apple Silicon is now officially supported for installations in Opt Homebrew. So isn't that amazing? Yes, it is.
He's a good man and thorough.
Elon Musk's Dogecoin tweeting. Guess what this has done? Remember I was telling you about Dogecoin last week? Well, it turns out that this cryptocurrency that started out as a joke in 2013 is now worth $6 billion. It's a real, I mean, I don't think you can buy anything. I don't know what you can do with it. Does anyone know what you could do or what? I don't know. I don't know. But cryptocurrency, right? This one started out in 2013, but with all that, and then you have Elon Musk tweeting about Bitcoin, #Bitcoin, and you know why? You want to know why? Because they're investing in this. They're making this a whole big deal now. In fact, Tesla has invested in this, and they're going to start accepting payment for their cars in Bitcoin. Isn't that interesting? And there's also the Doge coin that apparently is worth a bunch of money too. But anyway, you can see what they're calling the Elon effect here. And you can see it starts out right, and then on the day that he tweets about it, boom, skyrockets. So if you're paying attention to that kind of thing and you do that kind of investment, that's something to watch there. This is some interesting news, weird news if you're a gamer. The Sword and Shield, Pokemon Sword and Shield game apparently there was a hacker who was selling shiny Pokemon. Apparently shiny Pokemon are like really in demand, and you can hack and somehow get them. But this guy made over $10,000 selling his save files. He's a 23-year-old guy. He's in Japan, and his gosh, I can't pronounce any of these Japanese words. I'm sorry. But apparently he hacked a Sobble. Any Pokemon people can tell me how to pronounce that? A Sobble. Last April, and he got 4,400 yen, which is $41 for it. And he admitted to the charges. And now Pokemon Company is like cracking down. In January, they put players with illegally modified data on notice. And if you've been adding new Pokemon Sword and Shield guys, they find this out and they crack down on you. So watch out for that. Okay. Now, this is some serious news, nothing to joke about. In India, there was a Himalayan glacier that broke away, and here's some pictures from it. And they're saying that a lot of people have died. There's a massive search and rescue operation underway. It started yesterday in northern India. They think at least 140 people are missing. Basically, part of this Himalayan glacier broke off. It triggered an avalanche, but it wasn't just like a snow avalanche. It was an avalanche of rock and mud and water and debris, and it swept away a hydroelectric dam. And this is a disaster, and there was no time to alert anyone. And most of the people they think who are missing were workers on this dam. So they're going to try and save as many people as they can, but it doesn't look really good. So that's sad. Okay, a little thing here in Virginia getting with modern times. They're waiting for Governor Ralph Northam's signature, but dispensaries they have passed marijuana legalization. Dispensaries will be opening in the state beginning in 2024. Legalization could start as soon as this summer. Democrat-controlled Virginia Senator and House of Delegates both overwhelmingly voted in favor of this measure that could legalize simple possession of marijuana in the state as soon as the summer. It was already decriminalized back in January of 2020. Because why? Because they're smart and because they understand that doing this can help a lot of people. You know, I talk about this issue all the time. There are so many people who could benefit from medical marijuana, who could benefit from the research that could be done, and so much there. And it's just great to see more states doing it. Of course, the stuff in Texas here is on the legislation, but you know it's not going to. It'll come to Texas last. It'll be legalized at a federal level before it ever comes here to Texas, which is too bad because there are so many people here that could need it. Okay, so you know how I talked to you last week about Clubhouse? Well, it has been blocked in China. Apparently, it was there. This is reported by TechCrunch. It was blocked in China, and after a brief uncensored period, all of a sudden, all the people that had signed up for it and were using it got shut out. So basically, that's it. But it's weird because China is a huge market for this kind of stuff. All of these companies that, even the ones that we think of as being American companies exclusively, they're not. And they're over in China, and it's a big deal. So they're asking if it was Elon Musk. No, it's Elon, isn't it Elon? Would you stop playing ads? Come on. I'm just going to have to boycott this entire website. I'm sorry. They keep doing it. So I thought it was Elon Musk? Mr. Musk. Call him that from now on. Oh, one more little note that came in at the last minute about Apple is apparently now, if you are using the new beta of iOS, the public beta 1 for 14.5, if you ask, I won't even say the word Siri, but if you ask her to play some music, in the past it would default to Apple Music. Now, when you ask, it will ask you the first time once you ask it to play some music, and it will then set that as a default. And so here's a little screenshot of what that looks like when it pops up on your phone. And although they don't show it in this particular screenshot, Spotify is listed in there, which is a known and big Apple Music competitor. But what's interesting is in some of the comments in here, people are saying that Apple is doing this to prevent an antitrust lawsuit or something. Regardless of why they're doing it, this is a nice improvement and a nice enhancement. because you can definitely benefit from making this so you don't have to say, hey, play this song on Spotify or on whatever. So here is a very cool video. Apparently, one of the things that swimmers, professional swimmers and divers and stuff like that do is they practice in these little tiny pools that have like a strong current blasting against them, right? And so here is a video of this. This was sent in, I believe, by listener Brianne. So take a look at this. These guys dive in, and then they're swimming. This guy's trying to backstroke at like full speed, but you can crank this machine up so that the force of the current is way more than anybody can swim against. So I guess this guy's doing a breaststroke there. You can't manage to keep going for more than just a few seconds. That's how powerful this storm is. Why am I showing you that? Because it's Monday, and it's a weird Monday. And my last story, before I talk a little bit more about your questions, if you have any, is this amazing. I love this kind of thing. This is a video of these people in, they seem to be Japanese, I think, and they sing a cappella the iPhone ringtones. So I'm going to play a few of these for you here. Take a look at this. This is just the regular iPhone opening. These are people. This is people if you're listening on the podcast. Okay. You get the idea, right? Pretty cool. So that's all the news I've got for today. If you want to ask me any questions about this fireside thing, I'm happy to answer them. But it's just kind of strange. It's kind of weird to me. Hopefully they contact me and I have an opportunity to talk to them about it directly. It would be kind of nice to do that. Yeah, the dude in the back. Yeah, he's super chill back there. All right. Any questions? I'll give you a minute to ask me. Otherwise, that's going to be it for today because I'm late. You know, I got stuff I got to do, but I got to get these shows out to you. And you can imagine I've probably got a busy day ahead of me. So this is the time to ask. If you don't ask me here, you can find me where? On Twitter. And I didn't do all the regular things I do. I'm Dan Benjamin. You can follow me anywhere that you want. I'm at Dan Benjamin on Twitter and Instagram. And of course, here on YouTube. So you can go ahead and ask me any questions that you have. There, of course, like and subscribe right there and hit the little bell and you'll know when I come online to do the show. Appreciate all of you who have subscribed. And don't forget that just by clicking the like button, even if you're already subscribed, that says to YouTube, hey, I like this guy, Dan. I like his show. And it really helps promote the show. And of course, please give me a hand here. Give me $1, give me $5, whatever it is that you want to donate, whatever this show is worth to you. See this? You see this can? This can costs $1. $1. And I'm willing to bet that most of y'all have a coffee or a can of soda or something like that throughout the day. And you're probably spending at least $1 on one of those beverages that you have. I'm suggesting you give me $1 or maybe even $5 for the, 30 to 60 minutes a day, 5 days a week that I provide on this show. If you enjoy it, that's a wonderful way to say thank you. That's patreon.com/Dan Benjamin. And that is all I have for you today. I hope to see you back here tomorrow. And of course, you can definitely contact me on Twitter or anywhere else at Dan Benjamin. Happy to talk there. And keep sending in the links. I really appreciate it. And it helps make the show a lot more fun for me to do when I know that you're out there hounding out the good news for me. So that's all I've got for you today. I'll be back for you tomorrow. Have a good one.